I'm Gosling, also known as ju90, and I'm going to read some poems to celebrate International Women's Day and Women's History Month 2022. I'll start with some audio description. I'm a 59-year-old white woman with pale olive skin and green eyes behind black plastic glasses. I have a self-styled hennaed corona crop under a purple trilby, silver-coloured jewellery and black plastic wrist braces. I'm wearing a dark pink t shirt with a Superwoman logo and a print of a woman in the developing world carrying a puny Superman in a basket on her head. Behind me is a silver grey curtain. My first poem is called Meditation of the Middle Aged Woman on International Women's Day. It's inspired by W.B. Yeats' Meditation of the Old Fisherman, which was written around 1886. My poem is about looking back at the expectations we had of our futures almost a century later, as we left a girls' grammar school in 1980. They taught us it was different now. A new world dawned, the rules had changed. What's under our clothes was nobody's business. No limits existed on where we could range when I was a girl, with never a crack in my heart. Practical clothes do not have a gender. Comfortable shoes are best for our feet. Hair should be easy to style in the morning. No face needs makeup before it's complete. These were the lessons when I was a girl, with never a crack in my heart. But 4 decades onwards, nothing is different. Our fate's still determined according to name. Options restricted regardless of talent. Lifestyles are limited and roles just the same as when I was a girl, with never a crack in my heart. Of course, the messages I received as a girl were very mixed, and at home it was made clear that girls' and boys' roles in life were quite different. This poem is called Fashioned for Life, and was sparked by a memory of a real conversation with my father when I was still at primary school. Growing up female is quite a hard task. There's so much to learn and questions to ask. Why are my clothes not the same as the boys'? At least I can play with their balls and their toys, but my clothes don't have pockets, or if they do, they're too tiny for anything but a tissue. So Daddy steps in long enough to explain. Women have handbags instead. Don't complain. You'll have too much to carry to put in your clothes, and bulges detract from the feminine pose. While my pockets are ample for wallet and phone, they couldn't contain all your makeup alone. Plus, there's shopping and kid stuff. It's no use to whine. Your life won't be carried as lightly as mine. Carrying partners and elders on top. Carrying, caring non-stop. What makes a woman? It isn't her tits. It isn't her genes or even her bits. It's how much she carries and how much she cares. The weight of her burdens, the catcalls and stares. It's the strength of her arms and the strength of her will as she carries on carrying on while men stand there still. My next poem was written in 2019 on the way back from the Blue Dot Festival, which celebrated the anniversary of the moon landing. I was invited to the festival to read some poems and to discuss some disability issues with 2 disabled men who will remain nameless. Their perspective was that no one should suffer pain, and that ending pain should be prioritised by scientists, even if this means aborting fetuses with certain conditions. But my perspective, as someone who's lived with chronic pain for decades, is that pain is a normal part of human life. I soon realised that the differences in our perspective were gender based. Girls and women, including trans girls and women, live with pain throughout our lives, whether or not we're disabled. This is Moon Song. Women worship the moon in blood and in pain, every 4 weeks, again and again. The pull of the tide is a force like no other, pain only surpassed by becoming a mother. Our constant companion, the moon is our mate, ruling our lives and dictating our fate. Her power the stronger because it is hidden. Pain mustn't be seen is what all girls are bidden. Whatever you do and whatever you say, pain mustn't impact at all on your day. When blood is no more, the moon still has her way. Salt water swells forth with every moon ray. She may call you to service however you start. The soul of a woman resides in her heart. Men may walk on her surface and stare all they like. The moon is a female, shining with might. As a disabled woman, I tend to feel invisible on International Women's Day. Often, the only references to disability within the women's movement are in portrayals of women as carers. And even then, the fact that many disabled women are also carers is ignored too. This poem is called Same Difference, and it's about meeting someone new. You said, I understand. I've known women like you before. And I heard, I know you're a woman like me. But you meant, I know you're different like them. And so I am. My fifth and final poem for International Women's Day is my own version of Maya Angelou's poem Still I Rise, about the pride in being a black woman. Angelou believed in the universality of the human spirit and once told a crowd, I am gay, I am lesbian, I am black, I am white. My version of her poem, Still Rising, is about the pride in being a disabled woman. You may take me out of history with your swift averted eyes. You may cut me from your family, but still, like mist, I'll rise. Does my attitude upset you? Is that why you leave the room? 'Cause I roll along quite happy and refuse to live in gloom. Just like cakes and biscuits baking next to bread and pies, just like flowers springing up, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me humbled by the insults and the lies, crushed down by all the prejudice, living in complete disguise? Does my joy and strength offend you? Does it make you want to glare 'cause I sit like I've got jewels studded right across my chair? You may wound me with your words, you may taunt me with your cries, you may troll me on the internet, but still, like heat, I'll rise. Does my sexiness disgust you? Does it come as a surprise that my body works like yours does at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the wards of history's shame, I rise. Up from a life that's lived in pain, I rise. I am a comet dancing up high, sparkling and shooting, I tear through the sky. Leaving behind nights of long suffering, I rise. Into the new day that's brightly dawning, I rise. Bearing the pride that my forerunners gave, I am the dream and the hope of the brave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Whether you identify as a woman, a man, intersex or non-binary, I'd like to wish you all a very happy International Women's Day and Women's History Month.